What's going on? A long time ago, in a galaxy very close to you, I was and am a very avid Star Wars fan. And a few years ago, I was eagerly anticipating the yearly holiday of May the 4th because Season 7 was dropping its very last episode, the finale, the ending to this Mandalore, what was going to happen. Although I pretty much knew, I was on my edge of the seat to watch it. And as I watched that final episode, I knew that there needed to be Lego sets made. Now, 2020, this is like, I have the year on me, this was 4 years ago. This was 2019. And a year later, Lego released some somewhat accurate-ish, actually mostly inaccurate, a few sets to coincide, but not really the ones that were needed. And the struggle, how to make Lego make these sets, has been going on. And even big names like M&R has been trying to get Lego to make these sets. So I'm going to break down a list of sets that I would like to see Lego make from this season.
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
As I sat down to watch this final season this week, I couldn't help but imagine what kind of Lego sets have been missing over the past 4 years. Now, there's some epic story arcs, not the Martinez sisters or whatever, the Martells, the Ahsoka. It was okay, but that doesn't really need any Lego sets other than maybe some pikes. And not the spear-like things that were used in the Renaissance period, but I mean like the spice mining criminals, like a pike army. Anyway, but the first arc from the Bad Batch and the last arc being Mandalore, I feel like that's where all the sets need to be focused. We have had some amazing sets. The 501st Legion seemed to come from Season 7 with that Jet Trooper. All that seemed to kind of be from Season 7, that opening shot of the Mandalore arc. Right there. Then we got the 332nd with a micro-sized or smaller sized AAT. We've gotten Ahsoka versus Maul, but that's kind of been about it for Season 7. There's so many more better ideas to get. We are getting 332nd again in a Swamp Speeder, which never showed up, but that's okay, we're getting these figures again. But what are the sets that we could get? What are the good ideas that would really sell? I'm not like saying that Lego's Season 7 ideas aren't selling. They probably are and have, but there's no Season 7 that's currently out right now. They've all been retired. But I think I have some ideas and I want to talk to you about them. First idea is the Havoc Marauder. Now, we did get one in 2021. It was only out for a year. I would have liked to see it be around for a little bit longer. Lego made a pretty poor decision retiring a bunch of sets that were going to show up in a bunch of content. They retired a bunch of sets that were Clone Wars but appeared in Mandalorian. They did the same thing. They retired Bad Batch sets that were showing up again, and would have probably sold because of that, because they released those right after their appearances. Anyway, the Havoc Marauder is a set, one of my favorite sets from that year, honestly. But I feel like it was made a little too small, and I would like to see a larger scale version that's a little bit more accurate to, not quite minifigure scale like a UCS, but something a little bit bigger that can fit, 8 to 10 minifigures, and isn't omitting the features that the previous one did. I'm thinking that it should be in $130 to $150 range. It needs to have, the 3 landing gears that can fold up. I mean, even if they're stationary landing gears, I'd be fine with that. But I think it needs to have landing gears. It needs to have a boarding ramp that can fold. I think it needs to fold up and then be held in place by another hinge piece up at the top. And I think if you make a wider, longer version, it just creates that more room, so you can have room for Gonki and your 5 characters. And so I think 8 to 10 studs wide would be a really nice size, and would possibly give you enough room to make a seat for the gunner. You can put a gunner in, or convert it to Omega's room, however you want to do that. I really think that this needed a gunner. The guns need to be in the right spots. It it needs to not just be a translucent red piece. I think that it needs to be a window and like a seat and all that. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but it needs to be there. And then the minifigures would, largely stay the same. You have most of the crew from Tech, Wrecker, Hunter, and then you have Republic, Crosshair, and then maybe Season 7, 501st, Echo. I just feel like this would be better to recreate a lot of the Season 7 moments, as well as, it would work really well for Bad Batch Season 1 through 3. Or like, it just would be a bigger size, a better, you can carry, pick up your guests and carry them along on adventures or whatever, and then you got the landing gears, you got the boarding ramp. I just think it'd be a very good set. The second idea is a Republic attack shuttle. We haven't gotten one of these in over 10 years. The last one was like 2009. And I think we need a Season 7 version with the big cargo container underneath the transporter and Maul. And of course it has to come with like a couple, at least 2 shock troopers now. I know we are getting some of those in September with a gunship. And I think you need to include a pilot and maybe a couple 332nd. And you kind of recreate, because if you have those are just the figures you need. The third idea that I have is a hallway scene with Darth Maul, very similar in design to the Dark Trooper attack. You have your like 332nd minifigures and a Darth Maul, and then some play features where like the walls maybe can come down or look like they're being pulled off by the Force, and then something you stick a minifigure and can slide it to and from closer to Darth Maul or farther away, and then the diagonal bay doors as well. I think that really, if you can recreate that scene. Now, how likely is LEGO to recreate that scene? Probably not. It was a little bit brutal, so they're probably not looking to recreate that. But you could argue that the Dark Trooper was a little bit brutal too. I just think that style of a set can be done with so many different scenes. Now, the set we've all been asking for is this Rex's Ywing. Like, out of all these sets, this is the most asked for set by us, the fans, and we've been asking for it for 4 years. Maybe 2024. Like, it's in the rumor list every single year. I think it needs to be a $70 to $80 set. Have Rex, R7, Ahsoka, and I feel like one more minifigure would make the set. That either being a Jesse or a 332nd. It needs to be like pretty much just a recolor of that Clone Wars version, maybe a little bit of an updated design. Sell it for $70, $80. You call it a day. You've got it. Like, that is the set. If you are liking this content, these ideas, go ahead and smash that like button. Now, as I finish rewatching this, there's Season 7 here. There could be more ideas in here that can be sets, but these are my top 4 ideas. And why 4? It's just the ideas I came up with. I didn't have 5. Let me know, do you agree with these ideas? Do you have other set ideas? Drop them right down in the comments. I want to hear about it. Let's talk about it. Subscribe right down below so you don't miss any of my new videos, because I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. If you can help me get there, that'd be awesome. And you can watch my next video